This is an HR program on demand, a living seed capsule of work life and workplace coming live from a rooftop in Stockholm, Sweden. It's me, Ann-Marie Andrich, and
me, Katarina Berg.
A vodcast, if you like, on HR, straight across the counter. Sponsored by HR, the real deal, HR by HR for HR. Thomas, welcome back.
Thank you. Due to unpopular request.
Unpopular request, here you are, Dr. Tomas Chamorro-Premuzic. So we had a great session on leadership.
Yeah, I remember that.
It was fantastic as always. We talked about what great leadership looks like. And you also told us the reason why you are in Stockholm is, or that at that time, was because you were doing a session with people leaders at Spotify on leadership and AI.
Yes.
Now, of course, I will have to pick your brain on that as well. And also because you, as it happens, also wrote a book.
Yeah.
Yeah. That, as it happens,
is lying in front of us here.
Is lying in front of us here.
What a
it's called I, Human, AI Automation and the Quest to Reclaim What Makes Us Unique.
Yeah.
That's a title.
It's a heavy,
it's a heavy one.
It's deep, beep.
So let's start to decode and explore this.
Yeah.
What is the book about and why did you write it?
So I actually wrote it when we were in the depths and darkness of, the COVID pandemic, which of course not totally gone, but as I found myself under the heavy influence of algorithms and AI, I started to, reach, I think, the realization or conclusion that for the past 10, 15 years, even before ChatGPT exploded and became because, there's this very interesting kind of dynamic whereby AI became more human, but then humans became more like machines. Mm-hmm. Even knowledge workers spend a lot of time, a lot of their day not thinking, but training AI on how it can predict them better. Our interactions with others at work are optimized for efficiency, which makes work very inhumane and not human. So the book really is an attempt, I would say, a call to action to leaders to rehumanize work. And when I talk about the stuff that makes us unique, reclaim that makes us unique, things like curiosity, deep learning. It's sad to see that deep learning is typically associated with artificial intelligence, not with human intelligence. And also understanding, the capacity to understand things and others. AI is really good at explaining things, but it doesn't understand anything. Some humans are very good at that as well, and explaining without understanding, mansplaining, but we don't want more of those. And so it's really an attempt to get readers to think about how we need to upgrade ourselves in an age in which machines or AI keeps improving and upgrading itself.
Is there a secret sauce to this?
I think the secret sauce is human ingenuity and human, we need to have the willpower to do so. Whenever we invented a technology in the history of humanity, it was always to work less, not more. But if you can automate your thinking, even though, generative AI is a little bit like the intellectual version of the fast food industry. Like ChatGPT is like a microwave for ideas. It's quick, it's fast, it's tasty, but not very nourishing or nutritional for your hungry mind. So I think we need to realize that if the benefits of AI are going to come from reimagining how we invest the time we save by automating low-value activity, that requires a bit of work, right?
It does.
Yeah, if your deepfake or your digital clone attends Zoom meetings and I send mine and they chat and then AI summarizes what happens there, and your AI email agent emails my AI email agent and it replies and they have a conversation. And of course, if you can create 5,000 PowerPoint presentations in a minute because of that, where are we going to be? What are we going to do? And what should we be doing with our creativity and with our imagination? Those are the questions that the book asks. It doesn't have many answers, but it asks a lot of questions.
Yeah. And this book was launched last year.
It was actually launched on the same week that ChatGPT went, kind of mainstream.
It exploded. Exactly.
Yeah, which is good because it's receiving a lot of attention.
Yeah.
But bad because I couldn't use ChatGPT to write it. It was launched after that. So I had to write it myself. But actually it's probably okay because of that.
Yeah, but that's a good thing that you mentioned this. How do you use AI yourself?
So I use it, the most important, I have small kids, and if they behave, every morning they can sit in front of my desk and we can ask ChatGPT to draw a creature that is half princess, half dragon, ice skating in Stockholm while wearing, a green vest or something like that. And, they actually get to think about weird things that they say, can you tell the man to do that? It's like,
the man.
The man, exactly.
They say that. Can you tell the man?
Yeah, well, my daughter who speaks French says, can you tell le monsieur to do this? It's like, it's not a monsieur, it's computer code, by the way. More seriously, I use it to, in my low-level messaging corresponds, a lot of the, still at low level, so, I don't want to spend my neurons and my creativity on that. I use it to unblock my imagination if I need to think about examples of things. And actually, because I am a psychologist, I study it and I analyze its personality, and I'm very interested in the personality of ChatGPT, for example.
So what is the personality?
ChatGPT is basically like an insecure narcissist. It's more confident than competent. It wants to please you.
Yes.
It will tell you what you want to hear, and then ask you, but if it's not correct, I can tell you something else.
Right. And
it's very good at bullshitting. We use this euphemism called hallucinations, but actually, let's call it what it is, which is bullshit, which makes us really, really worried. I always thought bullshitting was a uniquely human thing. In fact, big in Argentina, of course, but unique human. And it turns out that machines can do it very well. Now, so it's almost like, it has the personality of an insecure or neurotic, vulnerable narcissist, somebody who wants to, believe in its greatness, but needs a lot of positive feedback or reinforcement to say, was that okay? If you didn't like it, I can tell you something else that you like. Right? It's a bit like, Ricky Gervais in The Office, David Brent, or Michael Scott in the for our American colleagues in the although the British version is better, of course, but both are there. It's a matter of taste.
So interesting. So how do you think that you will describe AI as a personality in a few years' time? Will it be the same?
I think, Sam Altman and others have been saying that the next iterations will be optimized even more to actually tell us what we want to hear and what we need to hear. So, which is a very, very scary idea. Already we live in a filter bubble and an echo chamber that makes it almost impossible to be exposed to information that is, discordant with our values. So I think maybe in an attempt to get more traction, get more adoption, and be more popular, it has to almost become populist. I hope that is not the case.
Yeah.
I also think that there's this really very interesting line of research that shows that actually people are more polite and civilized when they're talking to AI than humans, right? Oh, could you please summarize this?
Yeah,
when you prompt it, right? I mean, it's just a machine.
But that's what we were taught.
Yeah.
If you prompt it nicely, you have to prompt it.
Exactly,
it will behave nicely.
Yeah, and then meanwhile you treat people, in a really bad way. Exactly. So there's a lot about the interaction as well. But I don't know, I don't know if this will continue to advance in terms of accuracy and creative capabilities. We're told yes, but I think we're a little bit like what Gardner calls the peak of inflated expectations. The expectations are now so high, and I think it's a red herring if we focus so much on what the AI can do as opposed to actually thinking about what are we going to do with this time and with our creativity. In fact, to be creative today is to do something that AI cannot do. And I think that has to include, surprising people. The more predictable you are, the more AI can replace you. But I think if we can find a way to re-engineer serendipity and surprise people, not in a creepy way.
Positively.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. We can rediscover some of the forgotten pleasures of, reality, analog life. Look at this. All this is real. Everything here.
Yeah, it's real.
Yeah, we're not a product of somebody's imagination.
Exactly.
ChatGPT.
Exactly. Wonderful. So, going back to leadership.
Yes, very important.
Because obviously this has an impact on, well, it has an impact on the full society, but clearly leadership as well.
Yeah.
Now, can you tell us,
Yep.
what did you present to the Spotify people leaders?
Last time I was here, we talked about how we need to rethink leadership for the AI age. And there's maybe 3 or 4 key considerations. The first is that AI devalues expertise. So we're still appointing leaders on the basis of their technical expertise, their credentials, their qualifications, if they have an MBA, if they have an engineering, etc. And knowledge, expertise, information, content is being disrupted, even commoditized. I mean, you need to be like an expert in the 1% to persuade somebody that you know more than this, and it's only going to be in 1 or 2 areas. AI changes the meaning of expertise. It used to be about having the answers to a lot of questions, and now it's about asking the right questions, knowing when the AI is hallucinating or bullshitting, and also making smart decisions based on that information. So it's changing expertise is the first one. Second one, it means that a good leader will stand out not for their IQ, but more for the EQ, right? The call or the opportunity is to harness the skills that AI won't replicate. Empathy, kindness, consideration, self-awareness, even understanding, the capacity to understand others. For our HR leaders out there, or leaders in general, employees will crave understanding by another humans, even if they can do efficient things with chatbots. So that's the second one. And the third, I think, is really, it's a big HR implication, to find ways to rehumanize cultures and work. We will no doubt be very dependent and reliant on AI and machines, and most of our work will be done with a co-pilot. We have to be careful not to become the co-pilot of AI ourselves. True. But as that progresses, you have to inject humanity in your culture so that people can have some valuable and meaningful experiences, so that they want to come to the office, or they want to interact with others, even if it's 1 day a week or 2 days a week. So I think fundamentally, I closed that session with Spotify leaders saying, if you want one take-home message or take-away message, it's very simple. Do not become a machine. Do not become a robot. Unleash the human and the humane inside you. Don't cry. Don't cry.
I just love that. Clearly, right?
Yeah,
clearly, being an HR professional, love it.
Very good.
What was? Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
What were the questions from some of?
We had a lot of great questions.
Yeah?
I'm trying to think back to that, memorable moment. But we had questions around, how. My favorite question was how managers and leaders can help demystify and debunk some of the extreme dichotomous or polarizing rhetoric and narrative we hear about AI out there. Is it going to be the best thing since sliced bread? It's going to make us fitter, happier, more productive, or autonomous killer robots are about to come, and which, if they are, what can we do? Nothing. You just enjoy life. Yeah. But so, and I love that question, especially being here in Sweden, because as you know, I am a big fan of nuanced, rational, moderate thinking about things, which is very, very big in Sweden, more so than in other places. So I think managers should approach this with honesty, with rationality. You should not pretend that you know where AI is going and what it's going to do, but you should reassure people that you have their best interests at heart, and that they can trust you, and that you're going to work together to basically leverage the opportunity and mitigate the risks. And then don't assume that you have to have the answers. Sometimes your team will help you formulate the answers. So
that's leadership.
That's leadership. Finding a healthy degree of experimentation and encouraging their curiosity, and also making them feel safe, is all there is. And then let's face it, it might not be that big a deal. It might not be a big a deal. I know this is controversial, but it might not be as big a deal.
It might not be a big a deal. Yeah. Thomas?
Yeah.
You're a star.
Thank you. Nobody ever said that to me, but
of course they did.
I have no problem believing it's okay.
It's such a pleasure. It's always such a learning and it's an inspiration to listen to you. And I'm so happy that you can join us for the second time. And
yes, I came here especially for this, Mari. You know this, especially for this.
Rest assured, we will invite you back.
I look forward to that, and it's always great to see you.
Thank you.
Okay.
So, the last time,
yes,
we had a rehearsal on how to close the episode.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Last time I was unprepared, but this time I am prepared, which means there's more pressure on me to actually do it right. Because we did rehearse a little bit. Okay.
We did. Stay.
Safe.
Stay.
Strong.
Stay. Active.
Active. Was that the rehearsal or the performance?
It's actually stay safe.
Stay strong.
Stay active.
And
Idemodalje. Thomas.
Sandy beaches or rocky beaches?
Both, but predominantly in Croatia it's rocky.
Rock, yes.
Yeah.
I know.
The small, pebbly, white.
Yeah.
I like that.
I'm a swimmer, so I don't mind, but the kids are into sand.
You have to educate.
You have to force them. Yes,
you have to. Exactly. You have.
I know. I'm soft.
Oh my God, Thomas! You have to. How will they survive in the world?
I don't want it to break my balls. So, exactly. Stockholm.
You're back.
I'm a method actor.
Did you say next
year? No,
year?
this one will be next year. We can't talk about that yet.
But you already talked about it.
Yeah, of course. I'm just fundamentally method acting that we are in the future here.
Yes, exactly. We're in the future. Okay.